Edmonds-Woodway senior,
Konstantin Stratiev.
Senior,
We just went on to STSPN Welcome to Wrestling.
And we welcome you to Glacier Peak High School here on STSPN, and we're ready for high school wrestling. Welcome, everybody. Tom Lafferty, along with Josh St. Marie, a state champion in wrestling from here at Glacier Peak High School, and now on the broadcast side, watching wrestling. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Do you feel like you want to get back out there?
I would much rather be on the other side, rolling around on the mat.
Talk about, in fact, they're introducing all the wrestlers now, and we saw them come out. When do you start your warm-up during the day? When would you start for a 7 o'clock match? Because it seems like they're out there beating the tar out of each other on the mat, but you've started your warm-up, right, way earlier in the day?
Oh, yeah. Well, you've got to make weight. So most wrestlers would get up in the morning before school, and they're going to be working out between 5 and 6:30 a.m. Then they're going to go get their shower, spend their day in their classes. Then they go to practice after class, and they spend another hour, 2 hours rolling around trying to sweat that last bit of weight off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
So you would go to class, and then would you get something to eat? You've already made weight and those kinds of things, or are you going to take a nap in the afternoon?
You don't do your weigh until about 2 hours before. 5 o'clock is about your weigh-in time.
It's not like boxing or MMA where you're being weighed yesterday.
The day before. No, unfortunately, I wish. Oh, man.
Because those guys, in fact, you talked about the kind of a uniform difference even from a couple of years ago when you were wrestling. The warm-ups are now from the MMA, right? The way the warm-up shorts are looking. So
yeah, at least Edmonds-Woodway, those shorts over there.
So we're getting set for the first match of the evening here. The number 6 ranked Edmonds-Woodway Warriors, number 4 in the state, the Arlington Eagles, couple of powers in Class 3A, Glacier Peak. Coming up, both these teams at 2-0 in league, and we'll talk about that as we go along through the evening. It's an individual sport with a team aspect. When does the team aspect ends? When you cross into the middle?
It really never does. It really never ends.
But it's an individual sport. You got to worry about you.
You have to worry about you. But also, if you're losing and there's 10 seconds left and you're down by 7 points, if you lose by 8 points, the other team gets an extra point, an extra bonus point for that. So even if you're going to lose the match, you always got to be thinking about the team and not give up points at the end of rounds.
So here we go at 132, and we'll talk about this as we go. They had 2 wrestlers weigh in. It did Edmonds-Woodway at 126, but Sidat Kanye is now at 132, and that's where we're starting the evening. Tim Manzik for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies out there. So that's the first match, and they'll start at 132, go to the big guys, and then back and double back around for the smaller guys. So we're about almost 30 seconds into the first match of the evening. Not a takedown yet. Both guys on the ground, but no takedown, right?
Yeah. No control of the hips. Both aggressive starting here.
The referee, Al Rivers, still has not determined that anybody has a control. Got to be getting close here for Sidat Kanye coming out of Edmonds-Woodway. They're going to say both wrestlers are off the mat. They'll go back to the center, both still in a neutral position.
Yeah. You got to have control of the hips to get a takedown. And it's not enough to be,
It's got to be close. There it is. 2-point takedown and a 2-0 lead for Edmonds-Woodway. Sidat Kanye, 4th in the state at 113 a year ago, and coming in and wrestling out 132, weighed in at 126. So he's kind of all over the map weight-wise, and he's skinny. long arms, though, which means what? He's got a big.
He's got lots of reach. I hated wrestling tall guys.
Tall, skinny guys were worse?
Oh, yeah. You can't do anything to them. You try and move around, and they just stay there with their arms in
I would think
places.
It'd be like wrestling a spider, right?
Exactly. They control you in ways that you don't want to be controlled.
Down to 26 seconds to go, a 2-0 lead for Sidat Kanye. Third about a week ago at the Pacific Coast Championship. First at the the Sam Dijon Invitational, San Fernando, California. So Edmonds-Woodway's been doing a lot of wrestling here. Down to 11 seconds to go here in the first period. A 2-0 lead for Kanye from Edmonds-Woodway. And he's looking to try to roll him over. Not yet. Down to 1 second. That is it. End of the first period and a 2-0 lead for Sadat Kanye, wrestling at 132 against Tim Manzik from Glacier Peak.
All right, looks like.
So Kanye will be down and Manzik up.
Josh, you can hear me, but I'm not going up. So talk about what you would be doing. What would you be trying to do right now if you were on the mat?
So we've got a 1-point escape, and then so both are. They were even. They were up in neutral, right? But now right back to a 2-point takedown for Kanye. He leads at 5-0.
Is this Kanye? Did he?
That's what they said.
Kanye wrestled up. All right, so Kanye started down, and then got up on his feet and got the 1 point, which is what you want to do, because then on your feet you can score another 2 points to get a takedown. So he got up on his feet, turned around, and shot right in there and got the takedown.
Okay, they were going to start down, but then now they decided to go in the neutral.
Yeah. So when you go out of bounds and you're on bottom. Or, I'm sorry, when you're on top and you go out of bounds, you have a choice. You can just let him up and say, ref, I want to let him up. Al, let's put him on his feet. And he'll award the other player 1 point, and then you can just go back to working on your feet.
Oh, so you're giving a point.
Exactly. You give him a point. Kanye obviously is very confident on his feet because he wants to put him up, give him the point, because he thinks he can score 2 points with a takedown and outscore him that way.
And you said for out of bounds, it's 3 points out of 3 points of
3 points of contact, yeah. When you're on the edge of the mat, if 1 foot is out of bounds between the two guys,
yeah,
that's not out of bounds. They're only supposed to stop it if there's 3 points of contact. 1 foot and 2 hands, 3
knee.
feet. Yeah, exactly. Points of contact on the map, 3 of them is out of bounds.
Kanye leads at 5-2 out of Edmonds-Woodway. First match of the evening at 1:32, 35 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah.
Al Rivers, the referee. He's still saying nothing.
Yeah, they're both technically still on their feet. There's no control awarded yet.
And there it is, a 2-point take or 2-point reverse. Oh no, that's a 2-point takedown.
Exactly.
For Manzik out of Glacier Peak. Down to 14 seconds to go in the second period. He pulled to within 1 now. Did Manzik at 5-4. 7 seconds to go.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision by Kanye to put him on his feet, because you see Manzik went right back there and took him down and got the 2 points, which is what Kanye didn't think could happen.
Right. We're not going to say whether it was a mistake or not, but was it a mistake?
I think in hindsight.
Did you give a guy a point, I'm guessing here in this match, every point's going to be very valuable.
Well, it's a 1-point match, 5-4. I agree with you. Me personally, I would always put him on my feet.
Really? Because you like getting the 2 points for the takedown.
Nobody could take me down.
Okay. No brag, just fact.
No, it may not be true, but that's the mindset you have to have when you're out there. Is nobody can take you down.
So still, they're both a 5-4 lead for Sadat Kanye in the green from Edmonds-Woodway.
And he
trying
gets
to spin around. There's the 2-point takedown, and he goes up 7-4 with 1:17 to go in the match.
So that's interesting. You saw Edmonds in the second round put Manzik up on his feet, give him the free point, and he got the takedown. So then Coach Brian Mossberg over there from Glacier Peak says, all right, it's our choice. We're going to go on our feet. And it backfires.
The coach makes that decision or the wrestler makes that decision?
It depends on, it technically is the wrestler's decision every time. But depending on the team.
So what do we got here?
They called stalling on Edmonds-Woodway there.
Stalling but no points awarded?
No, you get 2 stalling warnings before a point is awarded.
Okay.
On the 3rd stalling call, you get 1 point.
So Manzik starts down here. 46 seconds to go, down by 3. I would think it's time to go to the Hail Mary, right? If you want to.
Not yet. You want to see him get to his feet and escape, get the 1-point escape, bring it within 2.
Down to 30 seconds to go.
Yeah. Connie trying to work the armbar.
21 seconds to go. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
He's got to stand up. Oh, here we go.
Can he get up? Can he get up? Still got his leg. 10 seconds to go. Nope. What's the referee saying here? Down to 1 sec. Potentially.
No, this is a locking hands violation.
Okay.
If you are around the body and you touch your hands together around his body, he makes that motion. He puts his hands together and puts them above his head. That lets your wrestler know he's got a free move. Anything that happens, he's got a free move. Yeah.
132, Sadat Kanye.
So Sadat Kanye gets the win, 7-2 at 132.
And Kanye moves to 21-5 on the season, so he's had a pretty successful season so far.
For Edmonds-Woodway sophomore Cole Haller, and for Glacier Peak sophomore Max Kaiser.
Max Kaiser and Cole Hadler will be out there. Both are sophomores at 138 now.
Yeah.
So a little bigger guys.
Cole Hadler at 11-7 on the season. So he's been wrestling pretty well.
And they're two similar body types here, so that's good. Makes for better wrestling, you think. There's a 2-point takedown for the Glacier Peaks, Max Kaiser. Again, both sophomores here at 138. Heading for the out of bounds, not yet. He's close, and now he's trying to wiggle free and not get pinned.
He's got to bring him back in bounds. You cannot pin someone, and you cannot award near fall if their shoulders are out of bounds. And there's too much contact out of bounds.
Too much, and so no near fall points.
No near fall points. Generally, if that move happens in bounds, you're going to get a 5 count, and you're going to get 3 points near fall. But because his shoulders were out of bounds, no near fall awarded.
Okay. So a 2-0 lead for Max Kaiser from Glacier Peak.
And you saw Brian over there going crazy on the bench, yelling, "Drag him back in, drag him back in." Nobody gets that cradle right back. Look at that.
There you go. And there's a pin.
Yeah.
Pin for Cole Hadler from Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser a pin over Cole Hadler, and so it's a 6-3 match lead now. You get 6 points for the pin for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, leading Edmonds-Woodway 6-3. Edmonds-Woodway, the number 6 ranked team in the state of Washington. Brian Alfie, their coach.
Yeah. Max Kaiser's got a nice little cradle there. He hit it twice in a matter of a minute. First time didn't count because it was out of bounds.
Right.
But closed it out with the second one there.
So we go to 145, and we'll...
At 145 pounds from Edmonds-Woodway, senior Riley Stewart.
Riley.
And for Glacier Peak junior, Kyle Vandrish.
Kyle Vandrishi and Riley Seward now at 145 will go. Seward, the number 4 ranked wrestler in Class 3A at 145.
Yeah, he's been a stud so far at 20-4.
Yeah, he's a senior. We kind of Joe with the full mustache. It looked like he's done a tour in the Marine Corps before he got here to high school. And again, two similar body types. Riley Seward, a senior, and then Kyle Vandrishi from Glacier Peak, a junior at 145. No points awarded yet.
Nope. Seward's coming out aggressive, and Kyle is playing good defense.
There's a 2-point takedown.
Yeah.
You know, there's a 1-point escape now for Vandrishi.
And that came from over in the sideline. The coach was yelling, "Cut him, cut him."
Was that what that means? Let him go?
Let him go. Give up the point because he's clearly confident on his feet.
So already 2 points here for the takedown, but the referees is going to look and see if there's going to be a pin first. A 2-point takedown and 2-point near fall, right?
Exactly.
4 points. 4-1, the match score here. 48 seconds to go in the first period. Now, we talked about whether or not the coach is making a decision or whether the wrestler, I guess it depends on the wrestler.
It depends on the wrestler, yep.
The freshmen and the sophomores are going to look to the coach. If you're a senior and you're ranked number, I'm guessing Riley Seward here makes all his own decisions on the mat.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
Well, he just looked over.
Yeah. I would say it's the opposite. I would say the freshmen and sophomores tend to think they know what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
And make their own decisions out there on the mat. And the older you get in high school wrestling, you tend to look and trust more in your coaches.
Well, and the thing that happens, too, is where the coaches, their bread and butter is deciding who's going to wrestle where, right?
That's a big part of their job, but also in match and strategy and how are we going to attack this guy.
How much film would you watch on somebody else?
None.
None?
Absolutely none.
Would you go and scout? Would somebody scout, say, this guy likes to go to his left, this guy likes to go to his right?
No, sir. Maybe at the regional and state level, if you wrestle a guy in districts and then you're going to wrestle him again in regionals and then maybe wrestle him again at state, maybe the coaches will look at tape and decide how you're going to game plan and attack him. But no, generally, coaches will preach that you wrestle your match.
Okay.
And you don't look at the way they do things, because you want to dictate the tempo of a match and just dominate that.
And you don't want to wait to see what that guy's doing.
Exactly.
8-1 lead for Riley Seward from Edmonds-Woodway. Now another 2-point takedown, up to 10-1 lead.
Yeah, and this is snowballing a little bit out of control here.
Well, Seward had him a couple of near falls a little earlier.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting close to one here, if he can get him rolled over.
Kyle's biggest goal here is not to give up the pin. A pin is 6 points for the other team, but if he gives up the technical fall, which is 15 points, if you get 15 points ahead, they stop the match and award your team 5 points, not 6. So that would be Kyle's goal, is to save that team point here.
With still a full minute to go in this period, and it's not looking good for Kyle Vandrishi from Glacier Peak.
Maybe he can get on his feet and throw him.
Well, he got spun around. 3-point near fall, 13-1 lead, 49 seconds to go in the second period. Yeah, Seward's just strong. A senior, as we mentioned. Seward, third in the Pacific Coast Championships, 8th in the state at 145 a year ago.
Yeah,
was Riley Seward. First at the Sam Dijon Invitational down in San Fernando. So
he's got a lot of confidence out there on the mat. He does his moves with a lot of confidence.
And there's the pin.
See him get up there and.
Our director over here, Todd Elvik, saying it looks like it hurts.
Yeah, that armbar he had on him was pretty close on the line of what the ref can allow as legal. He almost called potentially dangerous and stopped it there.
So Edmonds-Woodway in the match takes a 9-6 lead now off that pin.
Jonah Cortez, and for Glacier Peak senior, Mitchell Hines.
So Mitchell Hines from Glacier Peak is a senior. Jonah Cortezo from Edmonds-Woodway is a senior. This is at the 152 level, and we are underway.
Cortezo with that nice little duck under there. Yeah.
Both still up.
So Cortezo did a little duck under, and he was behind him, and then he got on his back. And as soon as his left foot left the ground and there was none of him touching the ground, ref's got to stop it. That's potentially dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the WWE throwing the guy through the air is not going to happen.
No.
Lifting him up and carrying him around the ring.
Makes for a good show, though.
And you wonder, as we're watching the 152, Jonah Cortezo from Edmonds-Woodway, Mitchell Hines from Glacier Peak, both are seniors. No points awarded yet, as we're 50 seconds in. That's got to be close. No, he's still saying no.
There you go. He's got the
There's a 2-point takedown.
Guy's got 3 points of contact on the ground, and and Hines has control of his hips. That's 2 points.
Now, are there times when you're out there that you see that out of bounds, you say start crawling that way, or is that also a violation too? Can it be?
That is a violation. You cannot run out of bounds. However, you can pretend like you're trying not to, but end up out of bounds. You're always aware of where you are on the mat.
That's committing the defensive holding with this hand while this hand's free and you're waving at the referee, right?
Exactly.
Now this can't be good for the Glacier Peak.
Well, he's just a hop game.
Oh.
I don't know if he was trying one of those little YouTube moves where you do a backflip when he's got a single leg on you, but it didn't work.
3-2 the score. Edmonds-Woodway wrestler down to 1 second to go. End of the first period. A 3-2 lead for Jonah Cortezo over Mitchell Hines from Glacier Peak. Both seniors at 152.
And Cortezo is just controlling the tempo of this match. Hines is very clearly just reacting to whatever Cortezo does, which is not what you want to do. You want to be the one controlling the tempo.
Oh, there's Brian Alfie, the coach. Deciding. So the Glacier Peak wrestler, Mitchell Hines, defers. Is that what you're doing?
That's what he does.
And here we go. That was quick.
Yeah.
Quick reversal for Cortezo, now leading at 5-2, just underway, second period.
That move is called a switch for obvious reasons.
And it's just a matter, it's quickness, right?
Lightning fast, yeah.
And how do you stop it if you're the other guy, or maybe you don't?
Yeah, you do. You don't let go of the hand or of the left arm. So if you're on top, you've got one hand on his belly button and the other hand on an arm. He wants to get that hand that's on the arm. He wants to swim that out as quick as he can. If you don't let that go, he can't switch. He basically just puts himself on his back.
Mitchell Hines gets one for the escape. Both are considered still up now.
Yes. If Hines can return him to the mat, he can get 2 points here.
Both out of bounds.
Yeah. And that was one of those times where Cortezo very clearly knew where he was and decided, I'm just going to step out on accident.
Yeah, oops.
With air quotes.
There's a 2-point takedown now for Cortezo. Leads at 7-3 with 50 seconds to go in the second period. Match score has Edmonds-Woodway leading at 9-6. We're at 152. And Jonah Cortezo gets
a nice little cradle roll there, but Hines just rolls right through. They've got 20 seconds to go here.
And there's a 1-point escape. 7-4 lead for Cortezo.
And Hines has got to change the tempo if he wants to do anything on his feet here.
And we're down to 4 seconds to go, and this is going to bring us now to the end of the second period. And a 7-4 lead for Cortezo from Edmonds-Woodway. And this will put Mitchell Hines down, and the Cortezo will be up. Here we go, third period back underway. How much has the popularity of MMA brought out people more to the wrestling? Much?
I have absolutely no idea. It seemed to, most wrestlers that I know absolutely love MMA and can't stop talking about it. But personally, I never caught the bug.
Well, I haven't either for MMA. More than the WWE kind of stuff was just show business, right?
Right.
Yeah. But the MMA, these guys, they're good wrestlers that have gone into the MMA.
Absolutely.
Collegiately.
Yeah, and Coach Brian Mossberg over there used to have MMA nights where he'd have people over and eat food and watch them beat each other up.
Beat the crap out of each other? Is that what you were going to say?
Lots of blood. Before this round started, I saw Brian Alfie over there tell his wrestler to put him up, but his wrestler decided he wanted to keep him on the mat. And now you see a stall call.
Yep.
Against Edmonds-Woodway here.
1 minute into the third and final period. Just a 2-point lead for Jonah Cortezo from Edmonds-Woodway. Both wrestlers are out of bounds. Both wrestlers will be up. This could get a little dicey here. I would think Mitchell Hines, though, there's an attack right there, right?
Boom. But he shot and he stopped. You got to go through the guy. And now Cortezo does exactly what he's supposed to do, and he puts pressure on the head. You want to get your head up and through. Get your hips under you.
Yeah.
Cortezo's just playing defense here.
33 seconds to go. That's a 2-point takedown, and that may just do it.
And he gets a nice swim around.
That was a 1-point escape. But he runs back for an attack again.
I think Hines has decided he'd like to win this match.
Yeah. Down to 16 seconds to go. One point for a stall. Is that what that was for?
Yep, for a third stall call. They gave 1 point to Glacier Peak's Hines, but he couldn't finish out the double leg.
So he raises his fist for the stall warning, and then 1 point for Mitchell Hines to get it. But the final is 9-7 with Cortezo getting the win over Mitchell Hines, and that makes the match score now at 12-6, Edmonds-Woodway with the lead.
Yeah.
And we move to 160, and we'll have Anthony Lindemood. We'll just double check.
Great job of wrestling there by Cortezo. He had a lead enough to where he could just let the guy shoot and put pressure on the head and call it a win.
Yeah. It's not our equipment, by the way. They've got only 4 lights on in the gymnasium, so it's kind of a dark, little more of a, that's almost, started doing that several years ago when they could put down 1 light or just a couple of lights. Much more dramatic effect, right, MMA-like. So
we've got Anthony Lindemood here against Mats Hanneberg. Mats Hanneberg is 18-3 on the season. He's one of Glacier Peak's stud wrestlers here.
And ranked 12th in the state in the Class 3A at 160. Both wrestlers are out. No points yet awarded. 1:26 to go in the first period.
Yeah, man, these guys are tall.
Yeah, I was going to say Hannenberg he's got to be 6'2 or 6'3 and 160.
Yeah, and then you look at Lindemood, and he's, 4 inches taller? 3 inches?
Hannenberg, I think, is taller, isn't he?
Hey, I'm 5'4". They all look tall to me.
That's a good point.
Are you done growing?
I am done growing, unfortunately.
So no points yet awarded. Oh, Hannenberg went down, and then now they can't. Oh, they're going to give him a 2-point takedown. Wow, that was close to being 3 points out of bounds, wasn't it?
No.
No?
Because he ran out of bounds?
Ew.
No. No, they just landed out of bounds. His momentum was going that way. He wasn't running on purpose.
Anthony Lindemood from Edmonds-Woodway, a junior. Mats Hanneberg from Glacier Peak in the blue, a senior. We're at 160.
That was one of my favorite moves, the take him down. Ooh. There you saw that potentially dangerous because Lindemood was completely off of the ground.
Okay.
And the only thing that was keeping him up was Hanneberg.
So what was your favorite move?
One of my favorite moves is what happened over here was Lindemood took him down out of bounds, and all of them are out of bounds except Lindemood's toes. You could see his toes were still in bounds, and because his toes were in bounds, both of them, he got the takedown and play was stopped. Reminds me of in football when they drag their toes out of bounds.
Right.
On the catch.
Yeah. 2 feet in, but one toe is just dragging out of bounds, right?
You always looked extra talented when you could do that as a wrestler.
Down to 5 seconds to go, and it's only a 2.
Hanneberg's almost out of here. And he gets the 2-point reversal at the end.
And now he's pointing at his arm.
Lindemood is arguing that that he still had control. But when you come up behind and outside, when you have hip control like that, like you had at the end, you've got to call the reversal.
So we're at 2-2. It's heading to the second.
With 24 years of experience, Al Rivers knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He's seen a match of 500.
Yeah.
So Anthony Lindemood on top, and here we go, tied at 2, second period.
We got Mats Hanneberg on
Excuse
top.
me, Mats Hanneberg. It's dark. And they're wearing green and blue. It'd be the guy with the Glacier Peak, right? Mats Hanneberg.
That's Mats Hanneberg.
Trying to keep a wide base with the elbows out, right? So you don't get...
I think both wrestlers are danger of a little bit of stalling here. Now you see Mats dancing around, going side to side, trying to make something happen. Anthony gets to a sit-out position.
Now, when I'm watching wrestling on ESPN, and they'll have like riding time and all that stuff, what's the difference? They don't have that in high school.
Yeah, they don't have that in high school. That's college wrestling.
Yeah.
College wrestling, it's much harder to get things done on top and bottom because the wrestlers are so good. You don't see as many pins. So they implemented this riding time, and rounds are 3 minutes long.
Right.
So riding time is when you're on top, they start a clock. And whoever...
There's another official on the side that's the riding guy, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And whoever has more time on top, if it's by a certain margin, he gets an extra point at the end of the match.
Okay.
So it's just something to keep in mind. If you're down 8-9, but you have the riding time advantage, all of a sudden at the end of the match, you're going to be awarded 1 point. You're going into overtime.
And speaking of not being awarded many points, we're still at 2-2 here as we're 38 seconds away from the end of the second period.
Yeah, I think Anthony Lindemood chose bottom, but he's not doing anything with it. And now you've got Mats looking to turn him. And he's close. If he can get his shoulders to 45 degrees, and he does, there he goes. You see the referee counting.
Yep. So he's at least at a 3-point near fall.
Yeah. And he got to 5 counts. 5 counts means you get 3 points near fall. But he's looking for the pin. And
there it is.
There you go.
Mats Hanneberg with the pin over Anthony Lindemood. Hanneberg and Lindemood. I think he may have, he's a little bit like,
and there's a,
yeah, that's not a sound effect in the background.
It's not ironic, is it?
So there we go. Yeah, I think his shoulder got driven pretty good into that mat. So the pin for Mats Hanneberg, and that makes it a 12-12 match score. And we move to 170 now. Derek Albrecht will be out there for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. And I'm guessing this is going to be Mason McDaniel.
71 weight class for Edmonds-Woodway.
No. Abduli Jata for the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors. And Derek Albrecht for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. And we're underway at 170 in a 12-12 match tie.
Yeah, hopefully Anthony Lindemood is okay. He's got Megan Smart, the GP trainer over there, attending to him. See, he's trying to drag his toes over there, but they were just out of bounds. They can't be moving out of bounds. You can't drag them as you go with control.
Yep.
You have to stop, have control, and your toes are still in. But he tried. It was pretty.
40 seconds into the first period, yet to award a point in this 170-pound match. Abdullah Jata from Edmonds-Woodway, Derek Albrecht from Glacier Peak. Control, there's control.
Nice little swim around there by Abduli.
Derek Albrecht.
Oh, he's trying to work a little tilt here. Oh, he's got him stacked. He never stopped moving. Oh, he gave him the 2-point near fall.
Didn't seem like he was there very long.
No. That was a quick near fall count. I don't even think he got his hand up in the air twice. I think he just made a judgment call on that one.
A 4-0 lead for Jota from Edmonds-Woodway. 28 seconds to go. Both wrestlers out of bounds. That'll bring him to the center of the mat with 27 seconds to go here in the first period.
It's only a 4-0 match, but Abduli looks like he's a pretty talented wrestler.
Yeah. Abduli Jota from Edmonds-Woodway. 5th at the Sam DeJong Invitational San Fernando a couple of weeks ago at 170, and wrestling here at 170.
He's 15-5 on the season.
So he knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the mat.
Yeah.
6 seconds to go. And that is it. End of the first period.
There, you saw with 10 seconds to go, Albrecht tried to get out of bounds, and Abduli just said, "Nope, I'm going to drag you right back in."
Yeah, we'll just stay in here.
Doesn't want to mess around.
Albrecht on top.
It's a smart thing to do, because when you can get a reset, even with 2 seconds to go, you can explode up and escape in no time, in a second, maybe 2 seconds, and get a point there at the end of the match. So it's smart to drag him back in and maintain control.
Jota picks up 3 quick points with the escape point and now the 2-point takedown. A 7-0 lead for Abduli Jota from Edmonds-Woodway.
Yeah, and that's why you choose bottom. Most people want to choose bottom when you have the choice, because bottom is the easiest place to score from. There, as you see a pin from Abduli Jota.
That seemed pretty quick after getting the takedown. And it was a pin for Abduli Jota over Derek Albrecht. So that gives 6 points to Edmonds-Woodway. And that pin at 1:24 of the second period. And now Edmonds-Woodway with an 18-12 lead. And we move to 182. And that'll be Konstantin Stratiev for Edmonds-Woodway. Micah Palmafy coming out for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies.
Wrestling 182-pound weight class for Edmonds-Woodway, Mason McDaniel.
So here we go. 18-12 match lead at 182. First period underway. This could be fairly quick. That's a 2-point takedown. And now he's going to get the 1-point escape. So Palmafy and Stratiev. Stratiev, I think, is an attacker. He's like a bulldog.
Yeah, yeah.
Or pit bull. Likes to go down. Two more points, up to 4-1, a 1-point escape. I always feel like I want to, like in Star Wars, they let us escape. Because he's just waiting for the time, right, that he can put him to this position where he's got his shoulders about. Oh, now he'll pick.
Wow.
By the way, both these guys weigh 182 pounds. He picked him up and just put him right back down just to move him to get a better position.
Micah gets right on his head.
Minute 11 to go in the first.
Looks like he's got a handle on this match.
Yeah. He got 5th down in San Fernando a couple weeks ago. Konstantin Stratiev leading at 7-2 here. Still only 55 seconds. Now 9-2.
And he says, "I like being on my feet. Let's do it. Let's wrestle there."
Yeah. And now he's putting him right back down. And there's a pin. Konstantin Stratiev, impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. That was quick, efficient.
I don't think he broke a sweat.
He looked like he was drilling out there.
So up to a 24-12 lead now for Edmonds-Woodway. And we'll move to 195 now. And
Stratiev looks like a man.
yeah.
Sure he's not 25?
I think he did a tour over in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And it looks like
The 195-pound weight class for Edmonds-Woodway senior Michael Swires.
and he's going to win this one by
I don't know if Glacier Peak's wrestler didn't make weight, had a skin issue, but they've got nobody at that weight. So Edmonds-Woodway is awarded a forfeit, which is worth 16 points.
Okay, so it's like a pin.
It's like a pin.
Yeah, even on the score sheet, that spot at 195 was kept left blank. So, so now we're moving to 220. Jesse Gear and Spencer Schultz. Gear from Glacier Peak, a senior. Spencer Schultz, a senior from Edmonds-Woodway. Spencer Schultz, 4th-ranked wrestler in the state at 3A at 195. He's a senior. First in the Pacific Coast Championships, 8th in state a year ago at 195. Second at the Sam Dijon down in San Fernando.
He was first at the Pat Coast tournament?
He was first at the Pacific Coast Championships.
It's quite a competitive tournament.
Did you go to that?
I did not. My older brother did. He did very
Also
well.
a state champion.
Yeah, and he won the Pat Coast as well.
Okay. Let's talk about when they have. There was an article in the paper, in fact, about double duels. Now this is a single duel, right? Just two teams. What do you do with a double duel? Do you wrestle twice that night? Is that what happens?
Each wrestler is going to wrestle twice that night, not 3 times. You've got 4 teams, and you line up, and you're going to wrestle 2 of them. And you generally have 2 mats going, so there would be one here and then maybe one behind it.
Okay.
And it'd be 2 teams, and then one set of teams would switch and just wrestle the team on the other mat.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to wrestle 2 times.
And then most Saturdays during wrestling, then you're going to a tournament somewhere. Like here in the Snohomish School District, there's the Panther Classic, but there's Lake Stevens and Edmonds-Woodway, and everybody else has a.
And tournaments on the weekends are much different for wrestlers because you're going to wrestle a minimum of 2 times. You could wrestle.
Now, what's he signaling there? With the hands behind the head, potential.
It was an illegal move. And Glacier Peak's Jesse Gear was awarded 1 point. Yeah.
Okay, this is Spencer Schultz from Edmonds-Woodway. Jesse Gear.
And Schultz is 23-4 on the season, so he's been a very successful wrestler. Yeah, he had his toes in, but there was no control. There was no control of the body there.
So both wrestlers will be up with 11 seconds to go here in the first period. A 1-0 lead for Jesse Gear from Glacier Peak.
Yeah. So he's holding his own here, and he gives up a 2-point takedown with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah, that'll bring us to the end of the first period. So continue what you're talking about with the
tournaments.
The tournaments on weekends.
So tournaments for wrestlers.
Panther Classic, let's say, and there's 14 teams that come in.
16. There are 16 teams.
Okay.
And every team brings a wrestler in every weight class. And then you're put into a bracket with all the wrestlers in your weight class. So my weight class is 130. We would have 16 wrestlers in the 130-pound weight class.
Are you seeded?
You are, well, depends on the tournament. The more competitive the tournament, yes, they most definitely will do seedings. And yes, generally every tournament they'll do seedings. But the less competitive tournaments, they'll only seed the first couple wrestlers, the first 3-4 wrestlers, and then just put the rest of them in the bracket. But you're in a 16-man bracket. If you win your first, you're down to the final 8 men. If you win your next one, you're down to the final 4. If you win the next one, you're in the championship. And generally, championship rounds are pretty fun. Pretty fun as an individual wrestler.
And all in one day.
All in one day.
And then how many times can you wrestle? How many times? Isn't there a time limit as to how many times you can wrestle and how much time there is between wrestling?
You have to have at least 45 minutes in between every match at a tournament. So if a tournament is not run all that well and they've got you wrestling 30 minutes afterward, you then have to sit at the mat and wait for 15 minutes before
But I'm guessing the places that have wrestling matches a lot, they know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
They know how to space it out, time it out.
And if
multiple
you're hosting
gyms,
a tournament,
because then you'll go in. you probably never had to do that, but you'll go into another gym for where they have like the placement, right? The 7th and 8th places.
No, I've done it. I've done it.
I just figured you were so good that you were always on the center mat.
Yeah. No. My freshman year, I was C team. I didn't even make districts. Couldn't even compete at districts. They take the top 2. Every team takes your top 2 wrestlers in your weight class to districts. So, say Edmonds-Woodway here, when they go to the 3A district tournament, they're going to have 2 wrestlers in each weight, if they have the wrestlers to fill out those positions.
This is Spencer Schultz and Jesse Gear. Both seniors were at 220. It's a 4-2 lead for Schultz out of Edmonds-Woodway. And we go to the third period now, just underway. Tom Lafferty along with Josh St. Marie here at Glacier Peak High School. Edmonds-Woodway Warriors, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Friday night wrestling is a reversal, and 2 points awarded to Schultz from Edmonds-Woodway. He leads at 6-2.
Yeah, currently a 4-point lead. Jesse Gear here holding his own against the Spencer Schultz. He's got his head on the mat. He's got to get his head up and get his base under him if he's going to stand up here.
Now, Schultz, as we mentioned, the 4th-ranked 3A wrestler at 195 in the state. There's a 1 point. Are there times that you know you're going to win, so you're going to work on things? Let the guy up, let's work on that again. Let the guy up, let's work on that again.
The match we just watched previous to this one reminded me of those times. Yeah, there are times when you are at one of the top levels in the state, and you're against a guy that maybe was JV on the other team and wrestled up because they didn't want their guy to face you, or yeah, there are times, and you go out there. Sometimes when you're first seeded at a tournament, your first match is not going to be against a guy that's incredibly talented. And Coach generally says, he would say to me, don't go out and pin him. We want you to, get your juices flowing. And so I'd go out there and I'd have to take him down 5 times before I was allowed to pin him. So,
but that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
But be careful, right?
Yeah.
So, sometimes that strategy in other sports too can come back and bite you.
Oh yeah.
Like, why am I sitting here with my back on the mat? Here is.
Man. We see Schultz there.
Yeah. Leading at 8-3.
Yeah, he got a takedown. Jesse got the escape, and Schultz just let him up there. Here we go.
So 8-4 now. They gave the escape point. But just 12 seconds to go in this 220-pound match.
Brian Alfie over there told his wrestler to stand him up. He's hoping to get a throw, get some extra team points here.
And that will bring us to the end of the third and the end of the match. And the win will go to Spencer Schultz from Edmonds-Woodway.
What we were talking about reminded me just, you got to be careful about going out there and with a mindset that's not too serious. Well, that reminds me of the one time in high school that I got pinned. I was at a tournament, and I was first seeded. And I ate way too much after weigh-ins, and I was just not taking that tournament seriously. Went out there, and I was flat-footed and didn't take the guy seriously at all. And I was resting on my back, and the ref called the pin.
And you look, me? You wonder why he was slapping the mat so close to your head?
I never overlooked someone after that, let me tell you.
This is Malachi Fafita, a junior. Generous Ye, a sophomore at 285. It's a match score of 33-12 now, with Edmonds-Woodway pretty much in command now. But the big guys are going at it here. That's a 2-point takedown for Malachi Fafita, the junior from here at Glacier Peak.
Yeah. Malachi took him down there with a bear hug. He basically hugged him belly to belly and crunched his lower back in with his hands. As you see, Al Rivers stops it with a potentially dangerous situation there. But Malachi, he basically hugs him, and you put your hands behind his lower back and crunch in toward you.
And I'm guessing when Malachi Fafita hugs you and crunches you, you can hear the crunching.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
His brother was a great wrestler.
Oh, yeah, I remember wrestling his brother in the room. I took his brother down in the room. His brother's
Once, right?
one time. No, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. But he was a great wrestler. He won a state title last year in 2015.
He's at Air Force.
Yeah, he's over at Air Force. He's a freshman at the academy.
Air Force Academy wrestling there
Yes,
for the
he is.
Falcons.
I think he's playing football.
Football. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a 2-0 lead for Fafita, the junior from here at Glacier Peak. 14 seconds to go in the first period.
Sometimes these 285-pound matches move pretty slowly. They get a takedown, and then there's not a lot of motivation to stand up. Oh, but he almost got the escape there at the end. Nice job for Malachi to return him to the mat.
So it never got the escape points even though they were running around.
Exactly, because Malachi kept control of the hips, never broke his hands. Never let go. There was never any separation.
We're at 285. Then we'll go back to the top of the list with 5 matches to go at 106. But 285 now. Generous Ye from Edmonds-Woodway, a sophomore. Is there an advantage to deferring?
Yeah, you get the choice in the third round. You'll often see Pete Carroll, say kick because he wants to receive in the second half. In the same way, you want your choice. You want what you want later when it matters more. Wrestling for Brian Mossberg over there, he always told us to defer every time if you get the choice in the second round, so that when the third round comes, you can do what you want there.
2-point takedown now for Fafita. He leads at 4-0. We're 1 minute into the second period. Edmonds-Woodway with a 33-12 match lead. And we talked a little earlier in the broadcast about the difference. It's an individual sport with a team aspect as well. You may win your match, your particular bout, but on the way home in the bus, the team got spanked. So how do you balance that out?
You can feel it. You can feel.
You're dee when you get on the bus and everybody else is down. No.
You are not dee. If you are, you're going to be in a lot of trouble there.
Yeah.
It may be an individual sport, but it's such a brotherhood with all of the workout you have to do, all the cutting weight, just all the trials and struggles you go through every day in a mat room. It is a hard sport.
Different on a Thursday night than it is then on a Saturday when you go to a big. That's much more individual.
It is definitely much more individual feel.
They give team points, but
but let me tell you, the best teams were the teams that still had that team feeling, and they had that feeling of, this is very important for our team to do well. The best teams always carry that feeling over into the tournaments, and always, even though there's 6 mats down, and it's a very individual feeling. You've always got guys in your corner yelling for you, and
so when you get to the Tacoma Dome, to Mat Classic, then it's individual. And I know there's been talk in the state about having some kind of team state championship. I read that just the other day.
Well, I would like to see that. I think that would be
Glacier Peak and Edmonds-Woodway would go as would have a team
and
go.
They do have lots of dual tournaments that you can go to where the tournament isn't individual. You don't line up. You're not put in a bracket with all the guys in your weight class. You're put in a bracket as a team.
Right.
And you you win duel, then you win a duel against the next team, then you win a duel against the next team. I would love to see that at the state level.
I know they've talked about it.
Not at the expense of the individual state championship.
No, the Mat Classic would stay, but they were talking about the fact the next weekend would be the teams, and the top probably 8 teams, I'm guessing, would go, and you maybe at Mount Tahoma High School or something, and have a.
Which would be great, except for I think the most kids we ever had go to state at Glacier Peak we had 5 my senior year.
We had a stall warning here.
Yeah, on Malachi here.
It's a 7-1 lead for Malachi Fafita here at 2:85, 44 seconds to go in the mat.
They actually stopped the time there because of an issue with the leg. It was a potentially dangerous situation. Okay. Yeah, so there's no stall warning on anybody yet. That's important because there's 2 stall warnings before they award points for stalling.
And down to 24 seconds to go, and a 7-1 lead for Fafita. Couldn't get the pin to maybe try to mount a little bit of a comeback here on the team point wise.
Yeah, that's always when.
So I would think that would come up in coaching then too at some point in the. Hey, we need you to,
You're always looking to get the pin, yeah.
Yeah, but you said it a little bit ago. I'm going to work on this for a little bit in this tournament. I'm not going to get the pin. You got to take the guy down. No, now you got to go. Here we go, right?
Yeah. I think in duels like this, you're never really trying to work on something unless you're that far above the other guy. In this match, there's no way Coach Brian Mossberg instructed Malachi to work on anything.
No.
He was definitely going for the pin the whole time.
Edmonds-Woodway senior Matt Good for Glacier Peak freshman Parker Hardy.
Now we're going to, talk about a difference, a jarring difference when you go from the 285 guys to the 106-pound guys. Matt Hood, a senior from Edmonds-Woodway, wearing the green right there in the center of the mat, ready to shake hands. And Parker Hardy, a freshman from here at Glacier Peak. So freshman and a senior. Yeah. Parker Hardy, the 10th ranked 106-pound wrestler in the state. Glacier Peak's Parker Hardy is 10th ranked.
Yeah.
Second in the Panther Classic a week ago.
As a freshman, huh?
Yeah. That's better than Josh St. Marie.
Definitely. Absolutely. This was my weight class freshman year.
It's a 2-point takedown here for Parker Hardy from Glacier Peak in the blue on top. Minute 23 to go in the first.
You can see the difference in the bodies from the 285 down to the 106-pound, but the biggest difference is the speed.
Yeah. But they're working just as hard, right?
Oh, definitely not.
No?
No, us little guys always thought those 285-pound guys, they don't try.
They're just laying there like a big blob, right?
Exactly. They're just.
But you never said that right to their face, because then you'd be a blob over in the corner.
Oh, I did. I wasn't afraid of
the big guys?
No.
Because you could run faster than them.
Yeah.
Parker Hardy looking, but he's not really in a very good position here for a pin, is he?
No. Well, he's trying to get some near fall. This is a tilt, and you're rarely going to get a pin on a tilt unless the guy just lays on his shoulders for you. But
yeah.
Oh, now he's got the half Nelson in. He's looking for the pin.
There it is.
He gets it.
The pin for Parker Hardy at 106 over Matt Hood from Edmonds-Woodway. So the freshman beats the senior. And another looks like a shoulder problem. Ben Roethlisberger should be here with the shoulder problems. That's 2 for Edmonds-Woodway.
Yeah.
They may win the battle but lose the war if he gets some injuries. He's still holding his shoulder in.
Wonder if Brian Mossberg and Cliff Johnson over there talk to the Saints and develop some bounty program of their own and are targeting shoulders here.
Another freshman-senior matchup for Glacier Peak. A freshman, Gavin McDonald, for Edmonds-Woodway. A senior, Dane Johnson. We're at 113 pounds, and it's got a little closer now. 33-21, Edmonds-Woodway with the match lead, and just underway here at 113.
Yeah, and we've got 3 matches to go. This is the first of the last 3 matches of the night. Oh, and they got a little scrambling going on.
A little scramble there, some near fall points, some takedown points. We're going to rack up some points there.
Yeah. He didn't get the whole 5 count there, so he only awarded it 2 near fall.
2 near fall. So a takedown and 2 near fall for Dane Johnson. Now, he kind of slowed up, looked over at Brian Alfie, the coach, to do this and this and this, okay, and then got back to work.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was little, 7, 8, 9 years old, watching my older brothers wrestling, Brian Alfie was wrestling for Edmonds-Woodway. It's funny to see him back here as the coach.
Yeah.
You could tell they've worked on that little tilt and roll, trying to get some near fall in the practice room, because I've seen several wrestlers do that.
So talk about how that works.
You get wrist. If you're on top, you get wrist control underneath his body. You have both of your hands on his wrist, and then you dive to the other side of him and roll him over and try and get some near fall points there. Yeah, they're really working that wrist control. You can see he's got his hands on Gavin McDonald's wrist.
Dane Johnson, Gavin McDonald, 113 pounds. 4-0 lead for Dane Johnson from Edmonds-Woodway with 15 seconds to go in the first period.
Yeah, Dane Johnson's got to do something, or he's running the arm bar.
Down to 5 seconds. 3, 2. He's getting some points. He's going to have some near fall points here.
Yeah. Did he get to 5? Not 2.
2.
2 near fall. He got to a 4 count.
So 4 is. A count of 4 is 2 points?
Yeah, so when the guy is close to being pinned, when his shoulders are 45 degrees or closer to the mat, the referee will begin counting, and you'll see him count with his hand up in the air.
Right.
If he gets to 2, you know you've scored 2 points. If he gets up to 5, you get an extra point. You get 3 points near fall. He only got to 4. So you got the 2 points.
And leads at 6-0, 10 seconds into the second period. 33-21 the lead for Edmonds-Woodway on the team score. And now we're getting close here as McDonald's trying to keep his hips flipped over, right, so he doesn't get...
Well, his shoulders are what matters. They're counting the near fall because the shoulders are closer. The guy's just sitting on that right shoulder of his.
You always look like you're going to bust in half, and... Ooh, can he escape out of it?
He's got to watch out there. And he gets out of it, but he gets the 3 near fall there.
Okay, and goes to 9-0.
Dane Johnson's got some pretty polished top moves up here.
We're at 113 pounds.
Everything he's doing, he's running that arm bar where he's got that left hand hooked behind the left elbow of Gavin McDonald. Most everything he's run so far on top is run out of that arm bar. And he's running it again.
We're not seeing Mitchell Martinez tonight, the number 5 ranked at 106 for Edmonds-Woodway. He had a medical problem and is not wrestling tonight. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, that was going to be the 106-pound matchup with Parker Hardy.
Right. The number 5 and number 10 ranked wrestlers in Class 3A. Down to 22 seconds to go, a 9-0 lead for Dane Johnson.
And Glacier Peak's Parker Hardy got the pin in that matchup, so that would definitely have been a difference maker for Edmonds-Woodway. Though they look like they're in control of this match on the clock there. Still within 12.
Within 12, down to 6 seconds to go here in the second. And that will bring us now to the close of the second period. A 9-0 lead for Dane Johnson from the Warriors. Gavin McDonald from the Grizzlies.
And this is why you defer to the third round. Glacier Peak now has the third round choice in Brian Mossberg. Gavin McDonald looks over to Brian Mossberg and he says, put him on his feet. You get your takedown here. He's looking for a throw. He's looking to put him on his back.
No control yet, though.
Nope. They're facing each other. There's no hip control. Oh, look at that, the head and arm.
Dane Johnson's just strong, and Dane Johnson's a senior. This is where you're looking at a senior and a freshman.
It's an experience thing, yeah. Yeah, Dane Johnson definitely knows what he's doing out there on the mat. Gavin McDonald looks like he's gonna If he keeps up with it, he's going to be a good wrestler. He's got a couple experienced things to work out, though.
Yeah, Dane Johnson gets the pin.
Just a little awareness on the mat, a little bit of positioning. He left his head out there for Dane Johnson just to take and rip down to the mat.
And so that will move it now to 39-21, and that puts it out of reach now for the team score with only 2 weight classes to go.
That is correct.
Abrima Fateh will wrestle he's a senior from Edmonds-Woodway here at 120. Josh Vale, a sophomore, will wrestle here at 120. Fateh, the 4th ranked at 113, but he's wrestling up to 120 here. Senior, 5th in the Pacific Coast Championship, 7th in state a year ago at 106, 2nd at the Sam Dijon down in San Fernando at 113. So he's got some experience. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, this whole Edmonds-Woodway team, they have 9 seniors in the lineup tonight, as opposed to Glacier Peak's 5 seniors.
And Josh Vale, the sophomore. Fateh is the senior. 2 points already on the takedown.
Yeah, and he's working the armbar as well. Looks to be a point of focus.
So talk about the armbar. What does that mean?
Yeah, see how his left, Fateh's left arm, when they get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah. His left arm when he's on top is underneath and hooking the left elbow of the Glacier Peak wrestler. Fateh called with the caution there.
What's that mean?
When you're beginning, the bottom wrestler has to get set. Then the referee will say set, and then he will tell the top wrestler to cover. The top wrestler then covers, and then the ref will say set again, and then blow the whistle.
Okay.
He said set again, and the Edmonds-Woodway wrestler flinched. Because he flinched, it looked like Al Rivers would have just let it go, but he flinched and then sat back because he knew he made a mistake. And at that point, Al Rivers said, all right, caution green.
That's false start on the Seahawks? Is that what that is?
Yeah. After exactly. But cautions don't really mean anything until you do it a bunch of times.
Right.
On the 3rd caution, you're gonna start giving up points to your opponent there.
There's a 1-point escape, and it's going to be a 4-2 lead right now with Edmonds-Woodway's Abrima Fateh with 28 seconds to go. A 4-3 lead now. We're in the first period.
Yeah. Josh Vale's got some big steps. He doesn't have quick feet movement. When he gets back up on his feet, we'll take a look. But his stance and motion, he's taking large steps, probably 2 feet per step.
And that's too big?
Oh yeah. Because if you're taking big steps, it takes time to make those steps.
Right.
And as your opponent, I can time that up. And when you go to make your step, I know where your foot's going to be. Yeah, you want to make little steps. Always be on your toes so you can make quick movements.
So end of the first period, a 6-4 lead for Abrima Fateh from Edmonds-Woodway. Josh Vale from Glacier Peak.
Yeah, Vale looks over to the coach, Brian Mossberg, there. He says, on your feet. You see those big steps? Everything he's taking is big steps. He's not on his toes. Oh, look at that. A quick little shot. Good defense, gets the head control.
He does outweigh him. Fateh, as we mentioned, is number 4 in the state, but at 113, so he's wrestling up 7 or 8 pounds.
Well, he's ranked at 113. That doesn't mean he always weighs 113. I wrestled 130, but I walked around at 144 pounds every day, so.
A lot of spitting and saran wrap.
That's for the JV wrestlers to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I did use a sauna, though. I used a sauna, and
But you knew, you timed yourself for when you were going to wrestle.
Oh, absolutely.
You knew what, okay, I got
and eating
I got
tricks.
nothing this weekend, so I can do whatever
I definitely did that. Don't tell Coach Mossberg, though.
You're out of school. It's okay now. You're in college.
Yeah, that's right.
This is Abrima Fate and Josh Vale, a 6-6 tie.
Yeah, but Vale chose second round. He chose on his feet, and he got the takedown here.
But Fate is trying to roll him over with 35 seconds to go.
He
The
got
2-point reversal.
Vale, the sophomore here. Fate definitely has the experience in his corner.
Yeah, Fate, the senior. Again, 7th in state a year ago at 106. Ranked at 113 and wrestling at 120.
Yeah.
And he looks soaking wet like he's weigh about 86 pounds, too. He is skinny.
Yeah, these guys look a lot smaller than I remember. Yeah, you hardly have to wrestle at the weight you're going to compete in postseason at. In my senior year, I didn't wrestle one match at 130 pounds.
You didn't?
Nope.
You won a state championship at 130.
Yep. I wrestled districts, regionals, and state at 130, but I didn't wrestle one match.
Because there was another guy that could...
Yeah. I actually wasn't intending on wrestling 130 pounds postseason. It was something that Coach Mossberg suggested.
Okay.
So I was wrestling all year at 140 and 135 pounds.
So into the third period now. An 8-6 lead for Fate from Edmonds-Woodway. Looking for some escape points. Not yet, no escape. Back down he goes.
But if this is what he looks like at 120 pounds, I don't think he needs to lose another 7 pounds.
No.
Fate has shown that he's a good mat wrestler. Those tall and lanky guys look and see how he's got his butt up in the air.
Yeah.
Vale's pretty forward. If Fate can just get his head out, swim his arms and get his head out, he can just swim around the back. That's what he's trying to do.
But Vale's preventing
swim
it.
Around and he gets his head out. That's a reversal. Watch him call the reversal. Ready?
There you go.
Those tall and lanky guys, you can't.
You hated those guys.
The mistake Josh made was he was way too forward, too close to Fate's head.
Yeah.
You got to stay back on the hips and move the hips around.
And 2-point near fall. And it goes to 12-6 the lead.
Yeah.
52 seconds to go.
4 quick points there for Fate. It gives him a 6-point lead.
And out of bounds, off the mat, 45 seconds to go in the third period. 12-6 lead for Edmonds-Woodway's Abrima Fate. And they'll count down the final 40 seconds here of this 120-pound match.
Edmonds-Woodway wrestlers have looked solid tonight. They've come out looking more aggressive than Glacier Peak's wrestlers, attacking more, wrestling more their style of wrestling.
And that comes from coaching, age.
I think if you look at the 9 seniors on Edmonds-Woodway's lineup, they have a little bit more experience. Yeah.
Down to 21 seconds to go. And a 12-6 lead. And this will draw to a close, and Fate will get the win here with 9 seconds to go in the third period. So this kind of this match especially, Josh Vale kind of held his own against really a good wrestler, Abrima Fate.
Absolutely. And he only lost by 6 points, which means Edmonds-Woodway gets 3 team points. If he had lost by 8 points, that's called a major decision, and Edmonds-Woodway would have been awarded 4 team points. So he held his own against a ranked wrestler in Abrima Fate.
And we go to the final match of the evening at 126.
For Edmonds-Woodway, Salud Fatigue.
Salihu Fateh, his brother, a sophomore, will wrestle here at 126. Hunter Cabrera, a senior. And
So this is Abrima Fateh's little brother.
little bigger brother.
Little bigger brother. Exactly.
Yeah, this is another one of those tall guys you didn't like, right?
Yeah, but he's moving his feet very
small,
quick movements. But he's hanging up on the hands there.
Is there an advantage then if you do the small step, and then sometimes now you're going to take a giant step and you throw the other guy off? Like, wow.
Yeah, possibly. It's a little dance.
Suddenly he arrived earlier than you thought.
Yeah.
Cabrera, the senior.
If you're gonna take a shot and you're gonna step forward with your right foot, the first thing you do is you move your left foot right behind your right foot. So if you fake that left foot to your right foot several times, that's something you can do to throw the guy off.
Salihu Fateh, 8th in the Pacific Coast Championships a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so just
and there, tonight's an example, and you can see it with Edmonds-Woodway. That's where you like to have your depth, right? It gives Coach Alfie a chance to you can put another guy into another position, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can use this guy here because this guy's so good. He can go here and he can wrestle up and he can wrestle back, and I've got two guys in reserve.
Absolutely, and you can actually wrestle up 2 weight classes. So if you weigh in at 132 pounds, as Hunter Cabrera, the senior for Glacier Peak, gets to take down there, if you weigh in at 132 pounds, you can wrestle 145 pounds.
Oh, you can?
Oh yeah, that's a big jump though.
That's a change in body type.
That's a big jump.
So a 2-0 lead for Hunter Cabrera from Glacier Peak. We go into the second period. A 42-21 double score lead for Edmonds-Woodway on the team. So that's pretty much, that has been wrapped up. There's a 1-point escape.
Yeah. Edmonds-Woodway currently doubling up Glacier Peak.
Yeah.
42-21.
Cabrera just got kind of socked in the eye and kind of held his eye for a second. I thought maybe Al Rivers was going to stop things, and nope.
That was my one switch.
One switch?
Yep, getting touched in the face.
Oh.
Or in the face anywhere, absolutely.
That said, okay, you got it now, Buster.
Yeah. I've been living for the past few years in Boston, and wrestling on the East Coast is much different than wrestling on the West Coast. Oh, yeah. Wrestling on the East Coast is very aggressive. It's much more, hitting the head, always attacking, and much less technical. Over here on the West Coast, it's nicer.
Everybody's nicer?
Everybody's nicer. Imagine that.
Really?
Yeah. And I was...
Same rules?
Same rules. But people are just much more technical. It's much more about how you do the move, less about how hard you do the move. And I think a happy medium is obviously optimal, but personally, I was much more of a technical wrestler. I would go out there sometimes, and it frustrated my coaches where I would just I wouldn't really flip that switch, that physical switch, and I would be a very technical wrestler. The moment someone touched my face,
that's it. Okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Here's East Coast Josh.
We're at 126, a final match of the evening. Salihu Fateh, a sophomore, Hunter Cabrera, a senior, a 4-2 lead for Cabrera from Glacier Peak. 17 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah.
3 points out of bounds. Back to the center.
Yeah, you can see that Edmonds-Woodway has been incredibly aggressive this whole match. All of their wrestlers have been attacking Glacier Peak's wrestlers. But still there's that sense of they do moves in a very clean way. It's very West Coast in that sense. It's technical wrestling.
It's interesting that so much difference from East Coast, West Coast. But how about now the hotbed, though, of wrestling is the Midwest?
Yeah. They're...
Is it a combination?
It is, but it's closer to the East Coast of aggressive. We're gonna beat you.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna beat you. Kind of mentality.
Well, but if you go to a wrestling match in Iowa, there's more people at the wrestling match than there are at the basketball game.
Absolutely.
The way it should be, right?
Yeah. The only college match I've ever been to was a Boise State match against when they were the second-ranked team in the nation against Oregon State, and that was a home match in Boise, kind of out in the cold, deserty. I know it's Idaho, it's not the Midwest, but it's got that feel.
Yeah.
And it was a packed gym. They handed out shirts to tons of people. It was a rowdy environment. It's a fun place to be.
Yep. Like Boise State still with wrestling. Oregon State still has wrestling, but that's...
Oh, yeah.
Minute and 8 seconds to go in the third period. A 4-2 lead for Hunter Cabrera from Glacier Peak. Looking for more, goes out of bounds. You saw Fatih just look up at the scoreboard to double check what the score is, and thinking, well, I better get busy. And
look at him faking around. He wants to win this match. He's been attacking all match, and Hunter Cabrera has just had the upper hand so far. And watch out, if he gets up near fall here, he could lose this match. Fatih with the takedown to tie it up, 4-4.
Yep, 2-point takedown, so 4-4 tie, 32 seconds to go in a tie.
It looks like Hunter Cabrera is ready to just let this match go into overtime. He's got his head on the mat. Fatih looks like the only one working.
How long are you going to go without a stall?
I would be shocked to not see one here in the next couple seconds.
Down to 13 seconds to go, a 4-4 tie.
To his feet.
They're going to say no escape points.
Yeah, out of bounds before there was any separation there. He's looking to explode and get an escape for the win. There's 10 seconds to go here.
Can he do it? Nope. Down to 5, down to 4, and this is going to go to OT.
Yeah.
There we are. Overtime, the last match of the evening, a 4-4 tie, end of regulation time. Talk about overtime.
Yeah, overtime. It's sudden death. First point wins. First point wins.
I always like to say sudden victory. It's sudden victory.
Sudden victory.
You know where I got that from?
Where?
When I did a wrestling match on TV on Comcast with Chuck Patton, who was the athletic director at Everett School District, but he was also the former head coach at Iowa of wrestling.
Oh, geez.
And he called it sudden victory. And ever since that, and this is almost 20 years ago, ever since then I've always called it sudden victory.
Oh, here we go. Fatih shoots in, and
any
Hunter
points
Cabrera,
yet?
the senior, is scrambling.
No points yet.
No points.
Still 4-4, sudden victory.
First points awarded, and it's a victory.
But nobody's got control here, right?
Nobody yet.
34 seconds to go in overtime.
And he calls a stalemate. They're back to their feet.
First point wins it.
The interesting thing about this is if somebody gets taken down to their back, he will let the match go until he comes off of his back, or if it's a pin, just in order
in case it was
team points. Yeah.
In case it was a closer 2-point takedown for Salou Fatih, and he gets the win.
Yeah. Hunter Cabrera had a single leg there and tried to trip forward. You never want to trip forward there, as you can see what will happen. And especially against a lanky guy. The lanky guy will just let you fall in front of him, and he's so lanky he automatically has control there.
So Edmonds-Woodway will win the match by a final score of 45-21, as the wrestlers now will.
You got to get 2 sets. One to each team. Pick 2 matches.
We're going to pick a couple of matches, and who do you like? You like Konstantin Stratiev for the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors.
He went out there and he was just dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was dominant.
What's up, man? He's still in there.
And then who do you like on the Glacier Peak side? Matt Sandberg had a pin. Max Kaiser had a pin. Parker Hardy had a pin.
Did Manzuk lose?
Who's that?
I'm going to go with Parker Hardy.
Are you? The freshman? Parker Hardy.
Freshman Parker Hardy against the 16-5 Matt Hood.
Yeah.
Matt Hood was 16-5. He's a senior. He's been successful all season. And Parker Hardy, the freshman from Glacier Peak, goes out and gets the victory there.
And who's the one from?
Konstantin Stratiev, we're going to go with Edmonds-Woodway. Okay, we're going to see if we can get them over here and talk to these guys. You can go ahead and take that as the microphone. We're going to. I'm not sure. Are we ready to go? We're going to talk to Parker Hardy here as soon as we get our microphone up and ready to go. We're going to have him hold on to that. You ready to talk to us?
Yeah.
Okay. Back up a little bit. We'll get you on TV too. How's that? Talk about your match. You kind of came out there and you knew what you wanted to do tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a really good game plan. My coach set me up really well. I knew exactly what I was going to do when I went out there, and I just did exactly what I wanted to do, and it worked out really well, and just wrestled my hardest.
What was your game plan there?
My game plan, I knew I wasn't going to be as strong as him when I went into there, so I was waiting for him when if he went to collar tie, I'd duck under and go to a shot, but then I just tried to control wrist and get to my single or get to a high crotch.
Yeah, I noticed as you went out there, he was a little bit bigger than you. Did that worry you at all?
Not really. It kind of worried me at the beginning of the year, and wrestled a lot of older kids and stronger kids, but I'm trying to work to get stronger and just work on my technique and things I need to fix.
You're a freshman.
Yes.
You obviously didn't start wrestling this year, huh?
No. I started wrestling in end of 5th grade.
End of 5th grade.
End
all
of
right.
fifth grade.
Did you wrestle at Valley View Middle School?
No. I actually wrestled in Arlington. I lived in Arlington for pretty much all of my life, and I kind of moved here about 5 months ago to go to this school, so that was kind of cool.
That's very cool. Well, congratulations and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
There you go. That's one of our wrestlers, Parker Hardy from Glacier Peak. He's going to get a shirt here as soon as we get a shirt going to be awarded here to Parker Hardy. And game plan. Did you have game plan when you were a freshman?
No.
Did you know what a game plan was when you were a freshman?
Maybe when I was playing video games on my couch.
And let's talk to our other wrestler of the evening, Konstantin, right?
Yeah.
What was your game plan? We just talked to the little guy from Glacier Peak. What was your game plan tonight? Did you have one?
I didn't wrestle tonight because we were like switching the lineup a little bit. So I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Konstantin.
Okay. You know what? Let's talk about. Is it strange because the whole time we thought the guy that was wrestling was you, because right there was a little bit of a lineup juggling tonight, right? Coach was juggling lineup, so it's interesting to watch. Tell me about the Edmonds-Woodway team, and Josh talked about it during the broadcast about the brotherhood of the team. How do you guys all get along?
We're working. We're really tagged. We're like, as a family, we're working really hard every day in the practice room. We're going hard live, practicing, consistent. We don't give up. We try our best every day in each mat. We try to get involved and support our team.
There you go.
Who was wrestling at 182 pounds tonight?
Well, they called out Mason McDaniel at 182.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Do you wrestle him a lot in the room?
Occasionally. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like running around with him.
Can you beat him?
No. No. I'm going to be honest, no.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, tell your team congratulations for the win tonight.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
That is it, the end. And, interesting that we had the wrong person. But that's what happens at wrestling matches, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the coach, having their choice, moves guys around, moves them up, sits them down if he wants to give them a rest, yeah.
So, an interesting evening. And again, the final score, Edmonds-Woodway 45 and Glacier Peak 21. That is it. Josh, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Tom.
Have fun in Boston.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Josh St. Marie. I'm Tom Lafferty for Todd Elvig on STSPN. Final score again, Edmonds-Woodway 45, Glacier Peak 21. Good night, everybody.